Hi, everybody. I decided to do an impromptu live. I'll wait a few minutes for people to come in and join us. I'm going to set up my YouTube on my other computer sitting next to me real quick so I can read the chats better as people find the channel. If people find the channel, I don't know how the notices are going out. I'm showing 3 watching on YouTube. Hi, Jima. Thought I'd come on and do a quick live. I've been doing a lot of work with my guides this week. Monday was actually a really crazy day. Just getting a lot of downloads. A lot of my guides wanted me to get on and do a lot of free writing and stuff like that. And one of the topics they wanted me to talk to everybody about is all this ascension that we're going through, all this awakening we're going through. Since July 21st, we're sort of moving into a time shift in our spirituality. There's a lot of people awakening, a lot of people getting a lot of downloads, discovering that their intuition is getting sharper. They're starting to have abilities they didn't know they had before. And I'm seeing a lot of questions across the internet about that. And this is really a normal process. I can sort of talk about what happened with me. I've been psychic since I was, as long as I can remember, since I was a little girl. I've seen ghosts all my life. A lot of psychic dreams. At about 12, I started predicting deaths in my family, taking it very personally. Not that I wanted to. But yeah, it's a lot of weight for a 12-year-old to take when they're seeing their family members dying before it actually happens. So, it's a lot on, but about the time I retired 7 years ago, I sort of went through this additional awakening, and all my abilities and skills started just bombarding. I used them through my career. Actually propelled me up to being one of the top people in my field, because I could interview people, and I just knew when I was being lied to. I knew I would know things about them that they didn't disclose to me, and then I could go back to my computer, do the research, and find it. I worked in law, so it could be very helpful in legal cases to be able to obtain information without actually getting it from the client, being able to find it. So, I've always used my abilities, but after I retired, I started meditating more and doing things like that, which I think is part of what launched off more of the awakening of my abilities and the channeling and things like that I hadn't done before. Also, working with other readers really opened me up. I'm going to stop and say hi to everybody that's coming in. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Wayne, Gina, Clarence, hello. I think I saw Shirley come in. Let me scroll up really quick. Mims, glad you found me, Mims. Rochelle. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Hi, Connie. Looks like everybody. Thank you a lot. Anyways, so some of the crazy stuff that I've been getting in my downloads is about this ascension, which is a bit confusing. What is ascension? What ascension is us coming in tune with our spirituality and lifting our vibration. Ways that we can do this is, which I always tell everybody, is meditate. The best way to get in tune with your spirituality is to meditate and speak to your guides. Even if you don't see your guides, over time, your guides will reveal themselves to you. I had been seeing mine for years. It was Karen Elizabeth Sage who actually pointed out the fact that Well, you've been seeing them for years. I always heard them in my left ear, which I always thought was funny when my left ear opened her channel, because that's where I hear my guides, is from my left ear. And Karen described my guide as being this sparkling gold light energy. And of course, we think guides, we're looking for a person. But that's not really. I've heard some people describe their guides as revealing themselves like a person. But what I discovered the next day after she had told me that and described him was, I had sat down to do my morning meditation, which I do every morning, and at sunrise. My house faces east. I go outside, sit on my porch, my cup of coffee. I meditate, and I closed my eyes, and I realized that all this sparkling gold light. I went, oh, that's my guide. I just thought it was the sunshine shining through my eyelids. When I realized it was sparkling, and then I noticed the energy changed to a shape of a human, but it was in light. And that's when I went, oh, I do see my guide. It's not my guide. And then I heard, yes, of course, you've always seen me. And I was like, oh, okay, wow, So that was how I discovered I was seeing my guide. I think that nobody tells us what our guides are going to look like, but because they're coming from the other realm and they are light, their energy, their light energy. My guide has actually presented himself in his physical form with me doing some work now, which amazed me because I knew it was him when he showed me himself in physical form when he walked the earth many years ago. But it was really interesting. I'm a light worker, so I do work with healing light. I'm not a Reiki worker. I'm not a Reiki master. It's very similar, but it's a little different. How I work with light in healing, but I'm guided by my guides on exactly what to do and how to send that energy. So it's pretty interesting. I'm also very clairvoyant. Many people that know me will know that about me. I am constant conversation with my guides. So a lot of times when you see me reading the background, like on Debbie Freebird's channel or with Sharon, I'm actually just doing mediumship. Sometimes I'll throw cards. I'll say if I'm throwing cards. If I'm throwing cards, I'll say, oh, my guides say, or I am hearing. Is usually the cue that I'm getting guided messages in the chat. If I point somebody out in the group and say, hey, please contact me, I'm going to do a full down reading for you, no charge on me, because my guides have something to say to you as a person. I don't usually know what it is until I start working with you. I am working with several people privately now on some different awakening techniques and just building skill building and getting in touch with their guides and things like that that I've been guided to work with. It's been really fun. I actually had the opportunity this week to see, in doing a reading, to see the Archangel Michael and to channel him for the person that was sitting for me. Absolutely the most amazing experience I think I've ever had. And this person is actually working directly under Michael with his gifts, and he had just reawakened. So it was an absolute phenomenal experience to be able to do that, and the energy that Michael has is just unbelievable to tap into. He is so powerful and so loving. It was just amazing. So, anybody interested in working with me, getting in touch with stuff like that, I'm happy to help you out. I'm not a guru. I'm not a teacher. All I can do is talk with you, ensure that you're not crazy, because we all sort of, as our abilities open up, we sometimes feel like we're going a little bit crazy. You're not. Part of that awakening process makes you feel like you're going a little bit crazy because you're tapping into energies that you may have had, but maybe not to the strength that it's starting to come in. The downloads are coming at night. A lot of times you get buzzing in your ears. Sometimes you'll hear people speaking to you, where it's coming. That's probably your guide that you just aren't in tune with yet. Stop and listen, and you'll get information. I was listening to a good friend of mine's cast this morning, and there was a question that I wanted to address because I knew the research, and I went back and double checked. Somebody had asked about COVID and blood types. I don't even remember who asked the question. I think it may have been Silver, and she's not in the room right now, but I thought I'd address it. And I pulled the research back up because I had read the research. Anybody knows me, I'm a science geek. I had read the research that blood types and COVID have been studied. And rule of thumb is on the studies that came out of China and came out of in the first year of COVID, and how it's affecting people in different blood types, because that was something they were looking at when they were doing the RNA research for the vaccines. Is the older the blood type, the more I would say immune. It's not really immune. Is the better you react to the depth of the virus, such as in the recent paper that I found this morning that was written in June of 2020, type O blood types are the lowest at risk of having to end up on oxygen and ventilation. Although they do get it and they have complications to it, they're less apt to have the lung impacts and things like that, which I thought was interesting. And the more susceptible type, blood type that gets the sickest and requires the most blood, the more oxygen, ventilation, have more complication with the lungs, is the type A blood type. And of course, if you have the RH factors, it puts you at even higher risk. And when the original research paper I had read on it broke it down by all the different variant blood types, and the older blood types seem to be more resistant, and the more newer ones, the AB negatives, the rare blood types, had more susceptibility to disease. And but the number of people getting the disease, if I remember right in the original article I read, broken down by blood types, was pretty much the same percentage of people that have those blood types. So I think it's pretty, you can say it's pretty safe even across the board of how many, just because you have a certain blood type, you're not more susceptible to getting sick. You may be more susceptible to reacting to the depth of this illness, but everybody's getting it. Everybody's vulnerable. And just because you're one blood type doesn't mean that you're not going to end up on a respirator. I think it depends on how quickly you get medical treatment, how many measures you keep from getting it. I encourage everybody to get vaccinated if you can. Get your second vaccinations. Get your boosters at 8 months if you can. I'm a J&J vaccine taker only because I'm deathly allergic to medications and couldn't take either of the other two. So they don't even have a vaccine for the type 2s yet, or the J&Js yet. But I hear they're coming out with it. I've also heard recently that the children's vaccines are getting close to being launched now. It's going to be a nasal spray, and it's going to be a 2-dose situation. My guides still keep telling me the only issue that they're going to have is children that have a problem with chickenpox vaccine. And when I was talking to my son-in-law about it, who is an RN, he said because that's derivative that they're using with the RNA to carry the vaccine is the same one that they use to make the vaccines for chickenpox. And he says that's probably why that may be an issue. I'm sure they'll look at alternatives over time of different ways to carry the vaccine. But I've been feeling late October, early November into December is when the vaccines are going to hit the market for the kids under 12. I'm hearing a lot of other readers also reading that. Hi, Sharon. I see you came in, snuck in on me. I'm a type A too, Sharon. And I had pneumonia for 6 weeks when I had worst pneumonia I've ever had too. Had I actually made it to the hospital, I wasn't so sick that I didn't want to wait in the waiting room forever. When I had the pneumonia, I probably would have ended up on a ventilator. I actually took care of myself at home when I had COVID, and because I have asthma, I have a nebulizer, and I've been hospitalized with cochlear pneumonia several times. So I know the ritual, breathing treatments every 2 hours. I had the medication at home. I was doing that. But the one thing I did that wasn't hospital protocols, I knew my lungs weren't moving. I could feel everything settling into my lungs. I'd gone in my room, put my arms up on the headboard, and I told my husband, start pounding my back. And he's like, why? And I said, because my lungs aren't moving, I need you to help me break up the mucus in my lungs. And when I did finally end up in the hospital, my the surgeon did emergency surgery on me, told me I probably saved my own life just by getting that loosened up and being able to expel that mucus that would have, they would have had to tube me, drain my lungs, and probably end up on the ventilator because of it. So I got lucky. That's all I can say. It was just pure got lucky. But yeah, you get sick, get to the hospital, or your doctor. Don't do stupid things like I do and sit around and take care of yourself when you're that sick. Excuse me. So the other thing I wanted to touch notice is something that I talked to all my other reader friends, and Kevin, Vibrational Love, and I are really good friends. And I went back in our chats because one of the things we did back the first and second week of August, we were chatting one day, and we started making all these weather predictions before the hurricanes started hitting and stuff. And I went back to look at our notes because I had said to him, we should be recording this and we should go online and just announce it because we're having all these hits and nobody was talking about it yet. But the last reading we did on these was August 15th. And we had just gotten a hit the week before on the 8.2 earthquake. There was comments in our chats about, oh, did you see the earthquake? It was an 8.2 in Alaska. We got that last week was the comment I had made to him when I saw it in the news. But on the 15th, Kevin had told me, the next Tennessee had already just been hit with the hurricane. And he says, oh, this one coming into Louisiana is going to be big. Tons and tons of water. All I can see is the water. I can hear the water. I can hear the rains, heavy rains. The rains are all going all the way up into Canada and into all of the northern East Coast areas are getting hit with those heavy rains. The town in which my daughter moved into, the whole main town portion flooded. And she just sent me newscasts on that. That was pretty interesting. They live on top of a mountain, so they were actually flooded all the way around their mountain, and couldn't leave the house because all the roads around them were flooded out, but they could see it. But everything's cleared down. The roads are open back up, and the kids are back in school. They did hold the kids home. The next hurricanes that Kevin and I were predicting was one hitting the Carolina region, and I'm seeing Florida getting hit by the next two hurricanes coming in. I'm feeling I keep on seeing a house. It's a white stucco house, sort of a Mediterranean ranch style houses, which is really common in Florida. And I'm not really familiar with Florida because I've never been there. But I keep seeing sinkholes. And I keep on seeing that particular White House slide into the earth and get swallowed up. And I'm feeling that there's going to be about 20 deaths from, I don't know if the hurricane's going to slam into Florida or if they're just going to get such heavy, vast amount of rain that the sinkholes are going to fill up. Rain's coming down, and it's just going to open some of those sinkholes up. But I see that the sinkholes are going to be an issue of water and flooding is going to be impacted by the sinkhole problem that they have in Florida. And at least one house will be lost because I keep on seeing it swallowed. And there's going to be approximately 20 people that are caught up in that kind of tragedy of the sinkholes and the flooding. They get caught in them. Pray to God I'm wrong. Pray to God I'm wrong. But those were some of the conversations we were having. Oh, we were also predicting earthquakes in Central California, out towards the Mojave Desert, heading there. I looked up the fault line maps after we had made the prediction. There is a fault line that became active about 2 years ago. It's an old fault line that heads towards the Vegas area, out of the desert, out of the high desert, northeast of Bakersfield. That is active, and that's the one I've been feeling happening in Central California. It's going to be sizable, but it's not going to, it's out in the middle of the desert. There's not going to be loss of life, minimal damage to property, if any, but it will be felt in Central California and into Las Vegas, because that particular fault line will go all the way across the desert and hit the Vegas fault lines, and that's why they'll feel them so much. The other one that I've heard several readers predict that we had been talking about in the first week of August, Kevin and I were feeling, was the one that other readers have also predicted being felt in Chicago. I think it'll actually be felt north of Chicago, probably pretty close to the Canadian U.S. border. It's going to run down the central United States, Chicago, Missouri, on through there. I did look up fault line maps because you never hear about earthquakes in the center of the United States much, but there is a major fault line that runs up and down, north and west, that runs down through Missouri that could be affected. Excuse me, let me grab this. This is Sharon Lee. Hey, Sharon. I'm on live. Oh, it's not my laptop. It's my bumping the desk. Thank you. Bye. Okay, thank you, Sharon. She was just telling me my camera's bouncing, probably because it's sitting on my desk and I'm bumping my desk. I'm sorry about that, people. Anyways, the earthquake that I'm feeling through there, I can't tell you what's going to be on the Richter scale. Also, it's not gonna be Armageddon, as Lynn G would say. It will be felt, though. It'll be, my guess is between a 5 and a 6. But what I'm feeling is a lot of unsettlement by people that live in that region. But one, they're not used to earthquakes. They're used to the sky falling, hurricane or tornadoes. But there's going to be a lot of aftershocks coming from that, which you'll feel that'll be lower grade quakes. And it's going to make people feel very, very, very unsettled. If you've ever lived in earthquake country, it's sort of unsettling to feel the rumbling under the earth. One of the things that Kevin and I discussed when we're making all these predictions is this is just Gaia not causing a big, burst of volcanoes or anything. We do have some active volcanoes that are coming up too, but I haven't pinpointed where exactly they are yet. We know one's in Hawaii. I think one might be towards the Philippine area. I'm not sure. Anyways, about all of these events, this is more of a Gaia is just releasing some of the pressure in Earth from all the damage we've done to it. She's just rebalancing herself. We're going to have a lot of Earth events. We're going to have a lot of climate change events happening, but I'm not seeing any major destruction. Other than that hurricane in Florida, I think there will be loss of life there and a lot of flooding damage from these earthquakes. But I'm not seeing, Katrina, where it's wiping out everybody and people are drowning and dying and, that kind of mass destruction. So we do have hope. That was pretty much everything sort of on my current agenda. Did anybody have questions? Something you want me to read on? Let's see. Yeah, Katrina killed 1,800. Rochelle just said. Yeah, I don't remember the statistics. It was so long ago. I knew it was a lot of people, though. Do I have any messages from your guide? That is from Launcher. Let's see. See if I can pick up on your guide. Oops, picked up the wrong. Let's see. I may have to use my cards. I did do a lot of deep meditation this afternoon before I came on, which I usually do before I come online. Let's see, a message from your guides. Okay, I'm feeling like you're entering a lot of new experiences with your abilities, and your guides are trying to work with you in partnership. I'm getting that with the Two of Cups. You're struggling with it a little bit right now because you're not sure if you're receiving messages or understanding the messages. Just be open to it. One of the people I'm working with, I suggested that they just keep a journal of messages they're receiving, and you'll start seeing patterns, because one of the things your guides do when they communicate with you is they're not going to just say point blank, this is it, here it is, like an open book. It comes in metaphors, it comes in symbolism, it comes in things that you're familiar with. How I receive messages from my guide is going to be very different to how you receive messages from your guide, just based on my interest, my education, my Roma studies. I have studied dream analysis, so I get a lot of dream symbols when I get hits from my guides. I also been working with them for the last 7 years very intensely, so I'm getting more conversational type messaging now that I used to not get, rather than just one word answer, yes or no, or as I see questions, I'm hearing more depth in some of the messages I get, because I've become so in tune with working with them, and sort of weird keeping sort of a constant conversation going with them throughout the day. So that's something you can work on. But yeah, journal what you're getting, your messages. And learn to tell the difference. A lot of people question, how do I tell the difference between my guides and my thoughts? For me, I hear my guides around the outside of my ear, around my ear, where your eardrums are. where my thoughts are more coming from my brain, my head, the top, my crown chakra. I've heard people say just the opposite. Oh, they're guides that get the messages through the crown chakra. It varies from person to person, and it just depends on how you receive. What I'll find is that messages from my guides are pretty point blank, directed, where my thoughts are more. It's like talking to yourself. Use your own voice when you talk to yourself when you have thoughts. Where when your guides talk to you, it's not your thought language. It's not your questioning, your reasoning. It doesn't come with all that detail with it. So I don't know if that'll be helpful. I do see in your reading, Watcher, that you are learning your truths. So you need to go with that. I'm feeling like this card, the Six of Cups, is sort of your guide group that you're working with. You may have 6 guides working with you on your gifts. We can have multiple spirits working with us. You may have one main guide, but you may have a whole group that are help guiding you in this journey. So be open to that. And you have strength. So trust in what you're receiving. Trust in the truths you're receiving. And go from there. And for you, it takes a village. For all of us, it takes a village. Yeah, there's a lot of us that work. You only remember your dreams for about 30 minutes. Yeah, Wayne, that's a lot of people are saying that about dreams, where they don't remember them at all. In fact, I've been working with somebody. I said, write your dreams down. I said, or keep your phone by your bed and put a recorder on your phone. There's an app for that. And before you're all the way awake, just record what you remember of your dream, because as soon as you set up and you start moving and you become fully awake and you come into your full consciousness, the dream disappears for most of us, or all the details of the dream will disappear. So if you have a notebook next to your bed or a recorder and you record it while you're waking up and you're half awake, half asleep, you haven't sat up, you haven't ran to the bathroom yet, you'll find that you remember a lot of little details that you will not remember 10 minutes after you're up. And that's one of the ways you can work on dream analysis. I'm a very lucid dreamer, so I remember my dreams. I always have, though. I'm just I have more problems realizing, am I awake or am I asleep? And I have tricks that I do when I'm in a lucid dream and I'm not sure if I'm awake or not. I try to turn light switches on and water, because in my dream, those 2 utilities don't work. If I turn a light switch on and off and the lights don't come on, I know I'm still asleep. If I turn the faucet on and the water doesn't run, I know I'm still asleep. I've never been able to turn the water on in my dream. I might, if there's water running in a sink and I didn't touch it, then that's just part of the dream. But I cannot manipulate those 2 utilities. Don't ask me why. It's my quirky thing. But it's how I know if I'm awake or I'm asleep. So it's something I do in a panic usually, because I'm also afraid of the dark. So if I'm dreaming I'm in the dark and I can't turn lights on, I'm not in a good place. So does anybody else have a question they'd like me to answer? I'm sorry, I have to scroll up. Oh, Connie had asked about do the odd blood types have weaker mitochondria? You know, it's been years since I've studied that part of the geology and genetics of blood types, Connie. I don't know. I'd have to research it. I know O is one of the O positive is one of the best blood types to have. you're a universal donor. Your immune systems are usually really great and strong. You have less susceptions to certain types of diseases that have been studied. And it is the oldest blood type and not the most common blood type out there. So it's always great. Yeah, I'm A positive, and but I have a whole family that are AB negatives, O negatives. Yeah, we have some weird blood types in my family. I know one of the things that is happening with some of these downloads are so intense. I've been having a lot of imbalance problems and nausea. And my Monday was just, I could have sworn I was going crazy. Jay Herc wrote me a question. How are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm doing pretty good. I'm just sitting here watching the interview with Lieutenant Byrd on the shooting at the White House, because I hadn't seen it, and I saw that a clip on there. So I went ahead and watched it because I've been trying not to jump too much into the news and that negative energy. And it got me thinking, and my head goes towards sociology when I'm looking at these kind of events. And I just went on a tailspin on this of how did people didn't see this coming? You know, Trump stood up on a podium 6 months before any of it happened, telling us, hey, this was all a lie. Here it comes. Watch what I'm going to do. I mean, all these flags were out on his actions, and then backed by all these congressional or senators and Republican lies that have spewed trying to cover this up. I don't know why they would think saying it didn't happen when we all watched it. Just blew my mind. And yet they tell it like it's truth still. Okay, Connie had a question in regards to a student with a stomach problem being resolved. Let me post this up here, Connie. I promise I won't leave your picture up long. Will my student's stomach problems be solved soon? She's in severe pain. I hope they've checked her appendix. I'm hoping it's not appendicitis. But it's feeling like it's in that region of her stomach that's bothering her rather than like her actual stomach. It's her belly pain. And I know that when my daughter went into appendicitis, it was utterly worse than childbirth pain. Very, very painful. It will be resolved, but I think it might be serious. It's something she needs to see the doctor about. It could be a viral infection too, or something that, is just bothering her, but it's something that is needing medical treatment. She needs to see the doctor about it. They need to run a few tests. Yeah, she needs medication. I'm seeing that the king as the physician she needs to see. I'm getting temperance. They need to be patient. They will find the problem. She may have to do a few tests for it. The Page of Cups. It's emotional. It is serious. I get the Five of Swords. Yeah, she's in battling some kind of affection. I'm sort of seeing this entanglement of this like lizard looking thing as being that infection surrounding her. She's trying to fight it off. But I'm getting the Page of Pentacles. I'm seeing that she's going to be given antibiotics. Go through a series of antibiotics, and whatever this infection is, that they'll get a handle on it, and and she'll make it through that. So it's not COVID. I'm not getting anything that's showing she's got COVID. She's just got some kind of a infection, intestinal infection, which is also what I'm getting out of this five. It looks like it's affecting her digestive system, her lower digestive system. It's got her tied up in knots. It's an infection of some kind she's carrying that she just needs to see the doctor. They need to do a few tests, and then probably a round or two of antibiotics is going to take care of her. I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Always see a doctor, especially with children. So, yeah, but I see that she will recover from it. May take her a week or so. She's going to feel a lot better when she gets in and starts getting some antibiotics, though. So, best of luck to her. And I will put her in my prayers, Connie. But I gotta find. I gotta scroll up here and find where I click Connie. Because I know Connie loves to be permanently posted on everybody's channel. Yeah, she may have to go in for a few more tests if she's still having pain. I don't know about other people, but sometimes my blood work will look really great for a week or two when I'm sick. And I'll have all the symptoms, but it won't catch up in my blood work for a week or two. And then it goes boom, and it goes out of control. So she just may be like that, has really good blood, and it's not showing, the infection's not showing up in her blood workup yet. And oh, Sharon says she got appendicitis too, that it may be her appendix. So there is tests for that. It doesn't always show up when it first starts acting up, the appendix. Yeah, very. I know when my daughter got it, you could actually put your hand on her stomach and it was hot. And the pain severity got worse and worse. Yeah, it's not something to mess around with at all. And you won't even be able to touch her abdomen. As it worsens, you won't be able to even hardly touch her lower abdomen, the lower right quarter of her abdomen. That can act up for a while before it actually shows its true demonic signs. Does anybody else have any questions? Yeah, gastroenterologist is a good idea. Just take her to Connie. That's what they specialize in gastro problems. Yes, for entertainment purposes only. Oh, Mims wants to know, is there a message for her? Thank you for joining me, Mims. She didn't realize I had started my channel. She hadn't been on in a while. Is there a message for Mims? Well, I'm seeing the Four of Wands. Seems like everything at home is really happy right now and going well. I get the Knight of Wands. I'm seeing just, I don't know, everything's moving forward. I don't know if your family's working together. I'm seeing you're being blessed right now. You have the Temperance Angel over your family. I don't know what's been going on with you lately, but I'm feeling like things are moving towards a very positive note with everybody in the family, that everything's settling down where it's supposed to be. And you're just being blessed by angels looking out for you and your family. I'm getting the Page of Cups, which is love, emotion, positive messages coming forward. So I'm feeling like everything's sort of moving the right direction right now. With home, family, health, you're being looked after. Does that resonate with you at all, Mims? My screen's up. So you've just gotten through some hurdles. Yep. Oh, I'm glad it resonates. That's good. Because I if I remember it, you were going through some tough times there for a while. I'm glad things are getting better. Oh, yes. Thank you, Martha. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Oh, yeah. I always like to give gratitude. That's part of my meditation every day, especially my evening meditation. It's just gratitude for all the messages I've received, gratitude for all my friends and loved ones that I have in my life, the support I receive from everybody. And then, of course, I do a prayer for everybody that has crossed over that I know about, everybody that's currently struggling with illness, with COVID, with cancers. I have a long, continual prayer list that I work on throughout my day. Hi, Herc. Welcome joining us. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm just open for any readings right now. Just thought I'd jump on before Freebird came on and should be on in about an hour, if I remember right. The warm-up show today. How are you doing, Jay? I have my surrender cards here. Let me pull a surrender card for everybody. I love this deck. This is the Power of Surrender cards that I bought them because Debbie had them, and I just always really loved the cards, the messages that came from them. So, one of my impromptu purchases from Freebird Spirit, who I absolutely adore. She's such a great person. And let me pull one for the group. You said shuffling these larger cards. Oh, beautiful. The card I pulled is Surrender to Wonder and Awe. And that color's in this card beautiful. And it says, open to the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder of all life. This attitude will keep you connected to the ecstasy of flow. That's beautiful. Just look at the flow. Beautiful colors in the rainbow. My camera's a little bit blurry. Yeah, it is a wonderful deck, Mims. That would be a wonderful gift deck too. You're right. Yeah, there's a whole series of books written by Orloff, who is the author, Judith Orloff, who is the writer of these cards on surrender and working with spirit in surrendering yourself to the different elements. And that's what she based these cards on, is that surrender work, surrendering to different aspects of things that are holding us back, to help release us from that weight. So it is a very beautiful deck. Did anybody else have any additional questions? Sherry, I need to call you and talk. I'll give you a buzz later. You're talking about monarch butterflies, Wayne? Message from Spirit. Martha wants a message from her guides or family in spirit. Hi, Charlie Angel Tarot. I sent you an email earlier today. Thank you for coming in. We were talking about possibly getting together. She's in the Netherlands, so we've got, I think it's a 9-hour time gap. I love the way she reads. Her cards are beautiful. If you haven't had a chance to see her, it's Charlie's Angel Tarot. She does daily readings, and I caught her on a live stream one day where she was just doing random readings. It was beautiful, beautiful job she was doing. Message from the looks like it's going to be a family question. Well, first of all, I get your family card. Yep. This Four of Wands just always brings me home to family. It's a home card for me. You're working on balance within the family, and I'm getting the Justice card also. Balance in truth within your family. Maybe there is something legally going on or something that you've worked through, but everything's balancing out. I don't know if you've been struggling maybe with property or finances or something, but I'm showing that one of the things you need to work on is holding on to what you got. Watch the way you're spending your money. Be frugal. Don't overspend. Budget your money. Be careful with how you're spending your money. Right now, I don't think you're going to have a loss of funds. You just need to hold on to what you can to make sure that you have it if you need it. I do see the Knight of Swords walking forward in truth. This could be also your vaccinations coming forward with the swords. If you're going for your third vaccination, or if you have children in your life or grandchildren, being able to be vaccinated soon, that may be representing that. It looks like everything is about family stability, being frugal, living within your truth, living within your means, not making any drastic changes financially, and just working as a family unit together. Finding that balance, that what works right now for what's going on in our economy, what's going on in employment, in our finances. Just try to keep as much balance as possible within your family life, and you'll be doing good. It'll keep you stable. So I hope that's helpful for you, Martha. And let me pull you a surrender card. I'm just going to randomly draw one. It says, surrender to your soul path. Your life journey has been perfectly designed for your soul growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. Such a beautiful card. Don't you just want that as a backyard scene? I just love that. So there's your message from your guides. Oh, no problem, Martha. Come back anytime for a reading. So I do personal readings too. I'm doing personal readings for $50. Donations, that is for a full reading mediumship. I'm not breaking it down into this, that, the other. Mostly because I don't have control over my mediumship. I can't just turn it on and off. Either spirit comes to me or it doesn't. And they when I'm doing deep dive readings, I always ask the person I'm reading for to do a meditation prior to us meeting, to ask their loved ones to come forward if there's somebody who wants to talk to. So far, every personal private reading I've done, every loved one has showed up that's been asked to come forward. I ask my guides to greet their loved ones to help bring them forward so that we can get good, clear, precise messaging from them. It's been working wonderfully. So if you are interested in private readings, email me. My email's in the pull down menu. It's Guided Light Tarot 333, my angel number, at gmail.com. Just flip me a note. I'm usually up early in the morning. I get up about 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Pacific time. So whatever time and date, if something specific is good for you, my calendars right now are really open. I don't have any scheduled appointments for the next about 2 or 3 weeks until we hear back from my husband's back surgeon. I don't have anything in the hopper right now, so my calendars are open. So if you are interested in a reading, just reach out to me. I will set up the reading, and we'll go from there. And I'm just keeping the prices low and affordable. And if $50 is expensive, you can always make arrangements with me, and you can do a couple donations. It's a trust thing with me. I'm not doing it to become wealthy, and I'm going to donate most of the money towards charities like Feed America. I'm going to give at least 10% of the proceeds to Feed America. The rest of it I'm just going to use to pay my Zoom subscriptions, my StreamYard subscriptions, so that I can do the channel and cover some of the basic expenses, keep up the equipment. I'm in the Pacific time zone. I'm in California. Yeah, I'm in Central California. I actually live halfway between Bakersfield and Fresno. And it is hot here still. I think today was 91. It's actually cooled down. We've had probably about a month and a half where we've been running in between 101 and 108 degrees. And we have had some fires up in the Sierra Nevada mountains. I live just under the Sequoia and just below the Sierra National Forest, Yosemite National Forest, which is just above Fresno. So fires haven't been super bad up in our area lately. Most of them are in Northern California, and I do believe they have one still going on in the Riverside area in San Diego. I haven't looked at the broadcast. I just know all those regions were regions that my mom was a contracting officer under them. She had all those regions in her district. So I hear a lot about those. I do know that we need to send prayers out to Lake Tahoe. That fire is still not contained. I did see a broadcast from Lindsay was stuck in Reno. Reno's right on top of the Tahoe area, and I think that may be why she was stuck there. She may be having problems leaving that area to get back to Portland. Yeah, let's send prayers out for all the wildfires and all the firefighters that are working hard. That is one of the hardest jobs on the face of the earth to do, is work those wildfires, because they can't get a lot of heavy equipment due to some of the change in laws over the last 30 years. How they fight fires, they're not running big equipment fire lines. Some of those areas you can't even get into with heavy equipment. They do back burning. And they go above the fires and burn back to stop the fires. They fight fire with fire. It's pretty crazy. When I worked fires, I worked the engineering side of fires. I was not a firefighter, but we moved equipment up into the fire lines for them, and did food transports and stuff like that to take care of the firefighters. And it's pretty crazy place. And I bunked with the hotspot crews that used to airdrop in and after the fires, make sure the fires were completely out. And those guys would just literally come in and collapse on their beds when they got home. They'd be out of the field for 3 days straight before they'd come in. So they'd be running 72-hour shifts. And they would just literally, they wouldn't even undress. They wouldn't even take a shower. They would just drop their bag and fall on their beds. And they'd be out cold for like 5 hours. Then they'd wander out and look for something to drink and didn't eat. And those of us weren't working fires. We usually prepared them food so that they were ready to go when they woke up. It's an amazing group of people, though. Very fun group of very hardworking people. So if I didn't understand what you were saying, Martha. Earth Mama, you tried bribing. Oh, yeah, a kid that doesn't take cash is on to the game. I wasn't the bribable kid. My sister was. She'd take money from anybody. I was the kid that said, you can't buy my love. Yes, Visalia actually, Mims, Visalia is literally, I live 5 miles. I live right on the edge of Tulare. The hometown of Devin Nunes. Aren't we so proud of not? They took all the signs down, including the high school he graduated from, used to say, the alumni of Devin Nunes. And as soon as he got in all the trouble with dropping information to Trump back in his first impeachment, the sign disappeared off the high school. I haven't seen it since. Thought it was hilarious. Yeah, I live 5 miles from Visalia. I work for BLM. Yeah, my mom worked for the Forest Service. And I grew up in Oregon, Northeastern Washington on ranger districts. And I lived on the Umpqua National Forest of a steamboat just north of, or east of Roseburg, Oregon for years. Fun place to grow up. We had no TV. We thought we were going to die when my mom took us up there. What do you do without TV when you're in junior high? You die 1,000 deaths. You find a ton of things to do in the woods. Great place to live. Great way to be raised in nature like that. I wouldn't give up my childhood. Those years of my childhood for anything. Those were the fun years. Did anybody else have any questions? I had to find where I pulled this question so I can take it down. Let me. Oh, you lived in the Umpqua area, Mims? My great grandfather or uncle was Charles Beans. He was the founder of the Umpqua National Forest up in the Steamboat area. I used to get teased relentlessly for one, having the last name Bean, and everybody asking me if I was related to him. And I didn't know I was related to him. And I went to my mom's office one day and I said, everybody's teasing me. Asking if I'm related to Charles Bean, and she points up like this. And right above her desk was this portrait. Amazing. And he's wearing the puffy pants and the boots that laced up to his knees. And I'm talking about mid-1800s. And his portrait was there. It was really cool, though. And he was my great-grandfather's closest brother. In fact, my grandfather was born up there. They actually traveled from Oklahoma to the Umpqua National Forest in a covered wagon. My great-grandmother used to tell me that. was one of the trips that they made while she was pregnant with him. I could not imagine being pregnant and in a bouncy covered wagon pulled by a horse. But that's the way they traveled back then. Okay. Well, if anybody has any questions about spiritualism or anything like that that you want me to read on, want me to work with my guides on and make it a topic and bring it forward, I would love to do that. I would like to have part of this channel be readings and part of this channel being answering spiritual questions and things like that that people have. I try to pick up, because I watch other viewers too, when I start seeing a lot of people asking the same questions to different readers about spiritualism and stuff, I'll meditate on those and incorporate those into my programming too. I actually printed out some of the writing I've done in the last week. I've got about 4 pages here that I've been working on. Before I bring everything up, I sort of want to reread it, do a little bit of research to feather in details in, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, Charlie's Angel. I have Zoom if you want to send me a Zoom meeting, just so we can chit chat, or contact me through Messenger under Kathy Stafford, just Kathy Stafford. Do a friend request to me, and that way we can just we hit the phone button or the video and just do a video call and talk, and we can line our hours up together because you're in the Netherlands. And I'll save on. I don't know about you. I don't even have a landline anymore. So long, I don't have international calling on my cell phone other than through Messenger, which is free. Yeah, if there's any readers that want to get together. Hi, Greeter. How are you doing? Oh, you did a whole video on gatekeeping. Yeah, I have if you're talking about like a gatekeeper for your guides, your personal gatekeeper, I have one that I use to I work with my guides and ask them to assign a gatekeeper. It's usually my nephew that keeps negative energy out. I'll have to go look at that. Yeah, my husband's phone's ringing off the hook. Now I can hear it. He's in the next room. So, did we have any more questions today? People opposing tarot. What do you mean by people opposing tarot? Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. It's getting pretty close to 4 o'clock, and I can't remember if Deb comes on at 4 or 4:30. So I will see people over at Freebird Spirit on her channel. Thank you everybody for coming in. I appreciate it, and I am going to try to get more videos posted in the next few weeks also, as I work. And then I will be back on Sunday for sure at 1:30. in the afternoon Pacific time, which would be 4:30 Eastern time on Sunday. And I look forward to seeing everybody. We'll do we'll do little mini readings then. And if you have any questions for me, feel free to put them in the comments or to email me at guidedlighttarot333@gmail.com. And also, if you want a private reading, just put in the subject line private reading. Let me know what day and time works for you in your time zone, and I can set them up in Zoom. Send you a link to my Vino account, or it's also in my pull down menu. Thank you for supporting me and supporting this this channel and all your love. And I will see you on Sunday for sure. And I'll see you in all the other chats too. Okay, so everybody have a good day. Thank you for coming. And